Most people start a diet because they're desperate. Someone called them fat, their spouse turned down sex, or their doctor made some kind of diagnosis. That causes your diet to fail. That's not what I want for you, Wellness Warrior. So I'm going to talk to you about 3 things that you need to lose weight and keep it off. Part of the reason that we only try to lose weight when we're desperate is because doctors, nutritionists, and trainers have us believing that weight loss is a long, difficult process that will not be fun at all. It can look like that if you are dieting the way that these professionals advise you to do it. Have you ever had a dieting plan from a professional? I'd love to know your experience. Were you actually able to follow the advice that they gave you? Did you get results? Based on my history with dietitians, my guess is no. I'm not going to lie to you and say that there won't be challenges. But if we take the right steps at the beginning, the challenges feel more like road bumps than they feel like brick walls. I'm going to walk you through my thought process, which is based on 25 years of helping people change behavior and stick to their health plans. If you haven't started keto yet, I have a complete guide to starting keto, which is linked in the description. It's completely free. It's going to give you the step-by-step that you need. So just click down there, check it out. Without a good foundation, your house will collapse. In the context of behavior, which is what we're talking about today, the foundation is how you think about your life, yourself, and the things that you actually do day to day. We've been programmed to get by. That whole if it ain't broke, don't fix it idea, that took a huge toll on my health. I was 80 pounds overweight and finding ways to enjoy myself while still fat, rather than focusing on losing weight. Were you a victim of the everyone else is doing it, so I should be able to manage mentality as well? Like, did that get you too? Fighting to be able to celebrate with cake while your weight is rising? Why do we do this to ourselves? It's because losing weight is hard, right? That's what we've been taught. And I truly believed that until 6 years ago, when I accomplished this. I lost 80 pounds, and I've kept it off for 7 years this coming summer. But what's really interesting is that losing that weight and keeping it off has been easier than I actually expected it to be. And I can honestly tell you that today, I find it easy. Here's what changed. If you're anything like me, I used to feel hungry about 2 hours after eating a meal. And then I'd have a snack, which set me up to be hungry about an hour and a half after that, maybe 2 hours, which allowed me over the course of my day to have 3 meals and 3 snacks every single day. Now, I learned from Dr. Fung that those 6 eating events were actually what was causing me to be hungry all the time. Our body reacts to what we eat by releasing hormones, Wellness Warrior. If we eat foods with carbs in them, insulin puts the energy that we've eaten in storage. That means no access to that energy. That means my body sends me out to get more energy. That means I feel hungry all the time because that's how my body sends me out. And then I end up eating again. So I needed to wrap my brain around the idea that any food that is high in carbs will cause me to gain weight. That includes high carb fruits and vegetables. A huge problem in accepting that is that we've been programmed to avoid fat, not sugar. Actually, sugar is encouraged because, well, carbs are encouraged because they're lowering calories. When we start avoiding high carb foods while eating lean meats, we still feel hungry 2 hours after a meal. Can you imagine, Wellness Warrior? I needed to do keto, and in order to do this, I took all the carbs that I was eating, about 450 grams a day, down to 20 grams. Well, I tried to get down to 20. I didn't make it. I took it down to like 75, and I was hungry as hell. I didn't have enough energy coming in. No fat, no carbs. 454 grams of carbohydrates is a pound, and I was eating about 450 every single day. Most of us aren't aware that we're eating a pound of sugar a day in our rice, bread, cereal, and healthy vegetables that we're getting in. And I only figured it out because I tracked, right? If I hadn't tracked my normal days before I started my keto days, I wouldn't have been able to go back and see that number. And by the way, just to point this out, that was me not having any chocolate or junk food at all, and I hadn't had any fruit in those normal days that I was tracking. I was being good, and I just don't like fruit. So just the healthy stuff, 450 grams. With that carbohydrate energy source removed, I needed to add fat to my meals. So I stopped trimming the fat off my pork chops and throwing away the skin off my chicken. And that helped a lot. Today, I even add fat to my coffee to make sure that I get all the energy I need to live my day. Now, I think the world expects dieting women to be in a pissy mood. And honestly, I will tell you that I believe I lived up to that stereotype. The 3 of the days at the beginning of my keto journey. And that was surprising to me because I had never been a moody dieter before. But it turns out that most people can't manage keto because of this specific thing that I was living through. So I'm going to actually slow down here because I really need every wellness warrior to appreciate what I'm about to share with you, because this is huge. This is big. We don't start a diet until we're desperate. We live with being overweight, hating it, and then we continue to eat the fun foods because they help us to feel better, emotionally, physically, feel better. But then we're mad at ourselves for eating the garbage, so we feel bad, and we eat more garbage to feel better, and that roller coaster just repeats over and over and over again. Does that sound familiar to you? Because it sounds really familiar. Can you think of something else that the drinker, the smoker, who has health problems, who desperately wants to stop smoking and drinking, but whenever they're upset or stressed in any way, gets their fix? Wellness warrior, I was mortified to learn at about day 3 of my keto diet that I was living withdrawal. It's impossible to live withdrawal unless you have something to withdraw from. And all of a sudden, wellness warrior, I completely understood why all those years I wasn't able to put junk food down. The garbage was actually controlling me. I wasn't in control, not even a little bit. It was controlling me. And in those moments of desperation at the beginning of my keto diet, trying to do this thing with no garbage in my house, I was contemplating eating rice and pasta and bread to get my hit. The same foods that I had taken out of my diet to try to get my life back, I was thinking about bringing back in. Why? There's sugar in there. And even though I wasn't thinking about there being sugar in there, I was just thinking, I miss it, I want it. My body knew that there was sugar in there. It was pushing me to go get it. And that was my light bulb moment. I had to actually accept that it wasn't just the junk that was causing my weight to rise. I was actually out of control when I eat chocolate, ice cream, and all the junky stuff because of the extremely high carb content of the healthy foods that I was eating, like rice and quinoa and carrots and kiwis. All that stuff is high in carbohydrates. Carbohydrate, sugar, 2 words for the same stuff. The same way that a shot of Jack is equivalent to a bottle of Corona, an apple is equivalent to a granola bar, and it's just 6 grams less sugar than a Snickers. Eating any of those things to help myself feel better is only going to get me rehooked on chasing garbage. So that's the rice or the cookie. I'm chasing again. That absolutely shocked me into taking a hard look at how I manage my boredom, my stress, and my celebrations. Today, when I get emotional, I solve the real problem that's in front of me rather than eating something to try to self soothe, because now I know that the problem will just continue to loom in the background, right? Waiting for this high to diminish and attack me again. And if I'm going to celebrate, I choose an activity. Food is to build and fuel the body, Wellness Warrior. So you'll want to check out this video to learn more about managing your carb count and getting those cravings under control. So click on that link. I'll meet you over there.